They're all here. Everyone that was here last year is still here this year. And Welkin is pretty much the only new girl on the block. Welcome back to the channel. In the last one, we did a review of the boat, little look over, you know, showed you all her nooks and crannies and gave you a good insight into her. In this video, we're going to do a few bits and bobs before we get too cold and go home, basically. So it might be a good one, it might be interesting, it might not be, I don't know. But this is what you have to get up to if you're sort of small old boats, you know. So we're going to do this in phases, this renovation, if you like. What we're not going to do is renovate this boat to within an inch of her life, you know, until she's pristine, because quite frankly, I think we would have to spend the whole of next sailing season doing that. She's in great condition, really, but what she does have are little bits and bobs that might need doing. Now, the other thing that's going to dictate how and what we do is the weather. So, for instance, might be nice to get this little bit of repair off here and polished in and whatnot, but we're not going to be doing that in what's 1 or 2 degrees Celsius of weather. So anything to do with gel coat, fiberglassing, no way, we're not doing anything like that. So the first job for me the first job, unfortunately, is to do something a little bit more mundane, and that is to get the water out of the bathtub, as I call it, because I think that needs to come out. And then what we'll do is we'll be able to walk around the boat without getting our feet wet, and also we'll be able to, you know, we need to keep that weight out the boat as well. Now there are 2 ways of doing this. We can either use this little drain plug here, which looks like it's draining, because look, there's where this water is coming from, or we just get a scoop and we scoop it out, which I think is what we're going to have to do. Oh my God. Things are a little bit icy. This is the worst bit. If we can get this sorted, we can start to walk around. So I'm going to try and carefully lift this and get this out the boat so this ice doesn't fall in the boat like that. These leaves might be the issue as to why this little piece here is blocked. So let's see if that's making a difference. No. I think the problem with that little outlet is that the outlet is higher than this here. So without a pump in the middle of those 2 things, it's not going to have enough pressure to sort of be forced out of that area. So scooping we're doing. Right. One last little. These leaves, there aren't any trees around here. I'm told that boatyards don't tend to have trees around them because they ruin the boats. But Rutland Water, where Welkin came from, certainly has a lot of trees and leaves around, so that's where these leaves have come from. Oh God, lovely. This is surprisingly not slippy when there's no ice on it. There we go, one cockpit cleared of winter for now anyway. This is the depth sounder, but I've also got a brand new Lugger, I think they call it, which is your speed, works out trip, distance, things like that. It does need a through hole because it has this like little wheel thing. I'm not so sure if I might install that. I've got no problem putting it in here. It's the hull, the through hole I don't really fancy, although I'm sure it'd be okay. Oh, actually, I'm going to leave that off. So let's see if we can get this thing to work. Let's get my battery. I'm going to tie I've tied the negative on, and then this is the positive here. Let's see. I'm hoping the voltage range of these will be fine. Way, look at that. Okay. That's your alarm. Don't know how to use this at all, but well, there you go. That works. That's a bonus. The owner didn't think. He said he's not used it for so long now that he can't guarantee it. But I'm fast starting to realise that this was a boat owner that was extremely nice and trustworthy, and I'm still chatting to him now about things. He said he'd love to see some photos and whatnot of the boat. So yes, so yeah, he's like me, you know. He'd rather tell you something might not work than say yeah it works and then it doesn't, you know, which is kind of the right way around. But that's really good to know that works. Obviously we can't test that until the boat's in the water. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the mast. I've noticed this boat over here's masts down here on these little stands. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the mast and I'm going to put it kind of down the side here, out the way, and I'm going to, you know, just get it out the way because I think it's just going to be in the way of doing everything at the moment. So let's do that. Interestingly, I've got one of these myself, but you know what you do? They do tend to fail after a few years. My car is really quite clever, and it will actually tell you if one of these lights isn't working. And halfway home, when I was towing her home, it just started going on about the lights weren't working. So I stopped, pulled over, had a look at the board. Oh no, and the double winker switched the red lights on, and you can't even test the brake lights, you know, although the error didn't come up with the brake lights. So anyway, I gave it a good hit this side, hit that side, worked fine all the way home. She's starting to look a little bit less congested, especially down this side. One thing I've noticed on this boat, the straps are a lot bigger on this boat than they were on the Lugger. Let's just double check what they do. Oh yeah, they come right out. I don't know if, oh, bit of sun there. There we go, a bit of low winter sun, which is weird, isn't it? Look, where the boat's in the shade, we've still got all the slush, but look at here, look. She's starting to feel warm on there. So, yeah, we're getting that. Oh, it's good. It's motivating me getting all this gubbins off because it was hard work walking around her. So let's get this back off and let's get the mast off the boat. Here goes. Easy. That was really light. The hardest part was getting off the ladder. I've got the ladder too close, so I couldn't get my right foot around. Normally I'd have swiveled round, but I couldn't do that because I had the mast on me. So, oh, she's looking very bare now, which is great. There's the little scissor stand that is actually swiveled straight. I've just used it for the mast, give it a little bit of extra support in the middle. And now we have one boat ready to work on. Awesome. So we're coming over to this little boat here because she's got a motor pad on it that looks very similar to mine. And the first thing you'll notice is how straight, oh, just come out the sun, but how straight this piece is compared to mine. It's got a big bend in it. Now I thought that was by design, but the trouble with this bend is this can't get past here because there's a big bump. So I can't push or let this push down. Now, the idea of these motor pads is that once you've got a bit of weight on them, i.e. your outboard, this should, in theory, kind of counterbalance it. So all you need to do is just like lightly push it down, click it in place, and then when you want to pin it, bring the motor up, you just lightly pull it up, and it doesn't feel like 25 kilo, it feels like, 5 kilo. Ah, hello. There's one over here, look. So he obviously, this is the same one. So it's a Timo, not Timo, because that's that Chinese shop, isn't it? That's advertised everywhere. But it's the same make, isn't it, this? So you can see, you would push that forward, and then this would come down. Now I don't want to practice and play with someone else's because it's not right, but that's how it works. And then this would just, it kind of goes down to here, and you can see this is completely straight. And because if you have a bump here, you can't push that enough, look, to then let it slide down. I still have no idea what this is for. I mean, it was in here, but that car is beautiful. Look at it. Now these, you leave them there, and then when you're sailing, just like on Lulu, you let your sail go to leeward, because your wind would be coming from over here, and your boom would be right out wide, which would twist out the sail and depower the mainsail. If you want it in the middle, you've got your two cars here and here. There you go. Which stop it moving at all. And you'd have it in the middle. You'd have it in the middle when, I think you start it in the middle, and if you're a bit overpowered, you would relax it. And I've just noticed we actually have got two holes here and here. So we can have almost a midpoint, which is good. Here we go. Look at this. This is the first time I've actually seen Welkin like this. And unfortunately I can't sit down because it's soaking wet still. But it gives you an idea what she feels like, doesn't it? Standing up here, look at this. Going down the ocean. She's not big at all. It's just, she's like a lugger with this bump in the middle of her. What I'm not looking forward to though is taking out all these bolts. My God, that's gonna be a day's work, isn't it, doing that? Something I do love about this boat as well is the lack of wood. So, especially out on deck. But what we might do is we may put a little bit of wood on this mast step here. So when we come to put the mast on, it's not going to be resting so much on here or on the front there. But I guess the other thing you could do is put a big sponge on the top here for when you're doing that. I don't know really. Interesting. The other thing is once we've jet washed all of these out, I think things will work a lot better. Just noticed that. A little bit loose. These seem fine. Hopefully it's the bolts, but we may have to put something under there. You can see it's just cracked away. Just Sikaflex that. Anyway. Actually have that round here so it really covers her over. And that's looking okay, isn't it? Let's get it over the front of the boat and see if we can get it okay. And then also we need to put this piece of wood in as well. This is as good as we'll get it. And then that, we're not going to get that any better, are we? Look. Yeah. Let's see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. And then this, if any wind were to get under here, I mean, there's not, again, and not an awful lot we can do. I think we're just going to have to leave that to it. So there she is. My little 7-year-old daughter always tries to do things with 5 arms, you know, carrying a bag and whatnot and trying to do things, and gets frustrated that she drops something or whatever. I have no idea where she gets that from. Anyway, there she is. Looking great, I think. I'm really chuffed with the day's, well, morning's work. Unfortunately, I've got things to do, so I've got to get back. But hopefully that's interesting, wasn't it? It sort of kickstarts us off. Everything went as well as it could do. Nice to see that mast off, and now we can go and have a good look at the mast as well. So far I'm really pleased. It remains to be seen whether that cover stays on and does its job, but there we go. We'll get down here as much as we can though, because there is a bit of work to do and we need to just keep the momentum up really before the winter really sets in. So yeah, hopefully we'll get her on the sea next spring and she'll be taking our adventures to the next step. So don't forget to subscribe. Give me a like if you like the video, because that really helps the channel. Yeah, tell everyone about me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.